What has kept me here at Trinity for so long?
I've been at Trinity for 35 years, and probably because nobody else would have me.
Well, I've been here for 25 years.
I've been at Trinity for 35 years.
I started working here on June 11, 1973. It was actually 5 days after I graduated high school.
I started here in 1975, right out of school.
I would have to say at the time that I came at Trinity, I was quite young and I needed a full-time position with benefits, and I got that at Trinity.
I think the key to longevity in any career is feeling invested in your work. I feel that my patients are my responsibility, and I think you need that sense of ownership in your work in order to be happy where you are. I feel that what I do is my personal contribution to their well-being.
The question asked is, how does one stay at a job for 40 years? One unique thing about my job in the laboratory is that I've had 10 different job titles. I'm not sure anybody else in the organization has had 10 job titles in the same department. The other feature is I've worked in 3 different laboratories. I worked at, started at Trinity East, which was Ohio Valley Hospital, on the ground floor lab. We built a second floor lab at Ohio Valley Hospital, and then we moved to Trinity West. So I've been in 3 different places working in a lab.
I feel that over the years, my department has helped the mentally ill and the addicted population in many ways, but probably the most important way that we have helped those individuals is we've helped remove the stigma of having those disorders, and we've treated them non-judgmentally and with compassion, and hopefully have given them hope that there is a life out there for them.
Working in the outpatient cardiac and pulmonary rehab department, we've helped patients overcome their ability with coronary artery disease, helping them with their pulmonary disease to live a better quality of life.
Being a small community hospital, we have helped many people bring their families together, add new members to their families, and just experience the joy of birth with them. And that's how our floor has been part of the community.
I think the maintenance department plays a big role in the healthcare system, and especially at Trinity. But we are few in number, but pretty mighty. Very proud of the crews at both East and West. I've had the privilege of working in both buildings, and I can't say enough about the crew at either place. I'm really proud of them.
I started my career at the Ohio Valley Hospital after I graduated from West Liberty with a bachelor's degree in medical technology. I earned my Master's of Science degree from the University of Pittsburgh with a specialty in hematology. The hospital's tuition reimbursement plan helped make this possible, and I'm so happy that they were able to help me. Joining the Mission Standards team is one of the best decisions I could ever make as a Trinity employee. They help the people in the community. They help all the people at Christmas time. If anybody needs something, the Mission Standards make sure they get it.
I like what I do because I like the patients. I help the patients out when they need me. I like our housekeeping because we're team players.
Well, working in marketing and public relations and fundraising, it's interesting because we find out about the new programs and services first, and we're always trying to promote those. So I think that we've done a great job of advancing healthcare in the local area, and I've just been fortunate enough to be the person to tell others about it.
I'm proud to work in the laboratory because we are continually striving to provide excellence in care for our patients, and that alone is our #1 priority.
What do I like about the lab is advanced technology that continues year to year. For instance, when I started back in the 70s, we did, each test took about a half an hour to an hour to complete. Now we currently have an instrument that's 12 feet long, weighs a ton, and can do 3,000 tests an hour. Lastly, what I really liked most was working with the people at Trinity and all the people I've met in the 40 years.
As a medical transcriptionist, our department's responsible for getting the reports to the floors in time and in a timely manner so that the patients can get their proper care. What makes transcription so great is that we can function independently but also as a team.
One of the questions asked is, what is one of your most memorable moments? I've had quite a few memorable moments here, but there are actually two that stand out in my mind. First of all, back in November of 2004, I was experiencing some chest pain, so I went through the heart center, went to the heart cath, did a heart, actually I was doing a stress test, and the next day I was on the heart cath table getting a couple of stents, and then a couple years later I actually needed to go through the CVU unit. The care that I received in the CVU unit has given me a second chance, and I do appreciate that from the services at Trinity.
My most memorable moment was delivering one of our pediatricians' baby because the doctor didn't make it and she came in really quick, and that was a pretty fun day for us.
I gotta say my most memorable moment has nothing to do with the hospital. It was just the day, it was the blizzard of 92-3. I was here for 36 hours. It was like hilarious. I said we had to dress in these scrubs because we had no clothes after a while. We had no food left in the cafeteria after a while, and then after we spent 2 days here, and then we had to go dig ourselves out in the parking lot of 20-some inches of snow with cafeteria trays. That's got to be my most memorable moment.
You know, my most memorable moment, I would have to say, it takes me all the way back to when I first began at Trinity. I was a transporter in physical therapy. I was probably, I don't know, 19 years old. And I had this patient up on the 8th floor. It was Old St. John's, and he was in a private room. And he was a real prestigious priest in the Catholic Church. And at that time, I didn't know that he was. You know, I just treated him like just a patient that needed help. You know, I had to take him down to physical therapy twice a day, every day, and we developed this real bond because I was the guy who went up and got him, put him into the whirlpool, and but I always remember when I came in that day and I got the gurney to go up and get him, and Ed Perlowski, who was head of physical therapy at the time, told me that he had passed away. And that was the first time that I had ever experienced death. And it was unnerving. You know what? But we developed a bond, and I really learned humility at a young age, and treating patients with respect.
Well, Trinity, it was always a family atmosphere, and my husband always said I always come home for a visit, that work was my home because they were my family. And they probably did more for me than some of my family did. They were just a great group of people, and the hospital is very well run, and I just enjoyed working here. I came straight from nursing school into Trinity, well, into St. John's and then into Trinity, and I've always been happy here.
We take such good care of our radiology patients, and we do patient teaching down here to them, and it's just all around helping our patients.
First of all, I love all the people that I work with. We consider them our second family, and I love what I do. I like all the variety that we have, like Pam spoke about, preparing surgical patients, radiology patients, our IVs, our blood transfusions, and I just like the variety in everybody I work with.
I think our department is so great because many of us have been together for a lot of years, and we kind of know how to work together well and what our strengths and weaknesses are, and then we train all the new younger people coming up, and I think that's an asset.
I think I'd like to thank Fred Brower and all the other management who've given me the support I've needed over the years, and I'll take these memories with me through my retirement next year. Thank you.
Hi, I just want to say one last thing before I leave. My hat is probably the most important thing to me. I worked so hard for that hat, and I've always had it on. I've never taken it off. I even tell my husband it will go with me to my grave, and he said no, he's putting it in a glass memorial thing at the hospital. But my hat has symbolized my care, my nursing, and I'm very well known for my hat because I'm the only one that wears it. But sometimes it's not good because they always say, well, that nurse with that hat on did that. But I get people stopped and they praise me for my hat. They said I'm the only one that looks like a nurse. One patient thought I ran the whole hospital because I had a hat on. But my ribbon and my crosses on my hat is the original crosses from 41 years ago when I received them at graduation. So they will always be the most important thing to me. Thank you. I had an education, an associate's degree, and I always wanted to match that up here at Trinity. And you know what, the opportunity came to me, so I took advantage of it. I got the position, and I gave up being a courier. It was a great job. I was my own boss, so to speak, out on the road. But you know what? It was a perfect time to make that transition. It was going to be a difficult transition, but you know, that road less traveled, so they say, is what I did. Because a lot of people were saying, you know, why would you do that? Why would you give up that position? It was something that, it was new, it was exciting, it was a change. It wasn't a lot more money. I really didn't do it for the money. I did it for the experience. It's been a wonderful experience, and I'm just so proud of the advances the Trinity Health System has made.